Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm sure this is the last thing anybody wants to actually hear on my particular page, but I kind of let the cat out of the bag the other day, and uh, I've been dealing with apparently my whole life bipolar depression. I thought it was just anxiety disorder and panic attacks and things like that, and quite honestly, it hasn't happened in a long time. But over the last about 3 months, I've been really feeling the effects of the downslope of the bipolar. Uh, Kind of explains a lot. Like for the most part, I'm real up and jazzed and excited and pumped up and got a lot of energy. But seems like that's the good side of this, at least for me. Um, but when you slide down into the depths of the pole, man, I've never. I mean, I can't recall feeling like this for like 30 years. It's been really difficult. I don't know if it's COVID. I don't know if it's work stress, music stress, just issues that I have that are related to congenital defects that I've had my whole life with my heart that translate well into this kind of problem, at least according to the doctors that I've seen so far. But nevertheless, if you're going through this, get help. Uh, I thought that I could deal with this on my own, but quite honestly, the downturn of this has been super hard to deal with. And, you know, I feel to some degree like right now I'm just whining like a little baby, but Um, I've had to step forward from that and realize that talking about this and confronting it and owning it and dealing with it are uh, actually productive ways of trying to cope with this scenario that I'm faced. And I think from just some basic research, millions of people are dealing with this. So, you know, as a man, you know, this certainly doesn't exclude anyone else, but, you know, there's a lot of feeling of like everything's on my shoulders and I have to take care of everything. And right now I'm having a really hard time doing all those things. I've never felt this unproductive in my life ever before. I'm a super driven person, so this is probably one of the things, other than the anxiety attack and the panic attack, that kicked this whole thing off a few months back, that just didn't go away, which is weird. I mean, I've had all kinds of side effects from palpitating heart to AFib, aflutter, atrial flutter, all kinds of, you know, just disconnection with, I don't want to say with reality, but just, so for example, I'll go into a room and it's not that I forget why I went to the room, it's that I'm wondering why I'm in the room. Not because I'm forgetting that I'm going to do something in the room, but what is the, it's just your brain starts to work in a way that just doesn't make any sense. And for me, that's literally terrifying. And then some other things manifested where the company I work for is building a new office space in a building that's, I think, 50 stories tall in downtown Buffalo. Um, and we're on the 30th floor, and we went in there for a walkthrough. And I kid you not, I could not, I almost was physically paralyzed. I was panicking the whole way up in the elevator because it's an abnormally long ride, 30 floors up, even on a speedy elevator. And we got to the top, and you know the whole thing is windows. That's the beauty of it, is it's this outstanding view. I was hugging the wall the whole time. I was literally almost unable to walk. Never in my life have I had that happen before. So very disconcerting. But I guess my point is, and you know, I think a lot of people do this type of thing when they go through these things, is you know, just share the experiences that you've had and that you're having, so that one of the things that's you know, not unique but universal about this is that we all feel very alone when this is happening to us, when in fact, like I said, millions of people suffer from this. So we're truly not alone, but you really feel alone. It's a very strange feeling. You feel unsupported, unloved, uncared for, and I think that's really the downward spiral that ends in some real tragedy, where if you don't get some help, you end up just giving up all hope and doing something drastic. Um, so that's why it's so important that, you know, I mean, I'm a nobody. I'm not any kind of celebrity or anyone that people really listen to in any regard, but I still think that there's value in, uh, you know, putting a message like this out there that, you know, I'm a 48-year-old man. I'm successful in my life, my professional life, and arguably my personal life. I would argue greatly about my musical life, but that's more on me than it is on the reality of what I've done. Because having 12 million streams over the last couple years, I think is it is an accomplishment. It's not the accomplishment that I hope to achieve in that period of time, but you got to take what you can get and just keep on moving forward. But I guess my message is, if you're having or dealing with anything like this, don't be ashamed of yourself. It's okay to, and this isn't easy to do. It took me 30 years to truly and sincerely say, hey, I need to deal with this in a meaningful way. This is interruptive in my life. It's causing problems for my children, my wife, my family, everyone around me, work. Unfortunately, a lot of times it takes that rock bottom kind of scenario to get you to realize that you need to get some help, because we've oftentimes driven people feel as if you can overcome everything. And as I said, the upside of the bipolar for me is extreme drive and ambition and that attitude that I can do and conquer anything. But the reality is the yin and yang of this, the balance or offset of that, is the downside of this is equally as bad. So I might have great upside and very happy and smiling and all that. But it's so funny how you watch these commercials and they talk about this stuff a lot more now because of COVID and all the pandemic that's going on. But it's actually real. I put on a brave face all the time because I'm embarrassed to talk about this until now. It's caused me to do some things that I guess I didn't want to admit that I was doing with regards to reckless behavior. Like if you've noticed, I have all these hockey shirts. I love hockey shirts, and these things aren't that expensive, but I have like 30 hockey shirts. So I've gone through a bit of purchasing things for the satisfaction of being excited about something coming. That's kind of a call out. I've done that with musical instruments, with equipment, with software, all that stuff. I really have been creating feelings of anticipation and excitement on purpose, and I think that's can be very destructive. I'm fortunate that I can afford to do that. It's not affecting me financially or hurting me in that regard, but still the behavior is a bit questionable. I mean, do I need 20 or 30 hockey jerseys, or is one or two maybe enough? And I often have regret, depending on the cost of the item. So if I go out and buy like a $3,000 horn, I can't stop myself from doing it because I love it. But at the same time, I get them and then I feel very regretful about doing it. And it feels very selfish and it's the wrong thing. And, a lot of conflict out there. So sorry, this 8.5 minute rant was not musical in any way, shape, or form, but I think it's important to share this kind of stuff with people as well, because we do build relationships online, even though we may never meet in real life and in person. I mean, I value everyone's contributions and everyone's comments and the support that I get from, the handful of fans that I have out there, and then the people that I interact with on social media. It does mean a great deal to me. So your comments, your support, your thoughts, your words, I really enjoy that, and I can't say that enough. So thanks very much, and I hope you're doing well out there as well.